Hello.
Hello.
So we haven't really filmed in a while. We were actually not about to, and we're just waiting to refuel and just watched another boat get in there right as we were about to leave.
Actually,
It's been about a month since we got to Bangor.
engine troubles.
Yeah, we had a major engine repair, rotten core plug. We were coming in here and it was a bit of kind of squally weather and our engine overheated. We had it on just to kind of help us stop stalling over waves. And yeah, it overheated. So we turned it off and thought, that's really weird. Got in, had a pint, and then looked at it all the following morning and we couldn't figure out what was wrong. So we called a marine engineer who came in and for a while also couldn't figure out what was wrong. And then yeah, we found out what it was, much to both of our dismay. He got it fixed. We went away for a couple of weeks because we couldn't be on the boat when it happened, so we went and stayed with Sean's parents, got a bit of sunshine.
Yep. Now we're back. Now we're leaving. So we're leaving Bangor now, and we're gonna head as far south as we can get. Probably just anchor off somewhere, kind of midway between Bangor and Belfast and Dublin, and then hopefully on Saturday, so tomorrow, we'll be in Dublin. Well, in the evening, and then that'll be as far as we've gotten. And then we'll try and make our way from there to Falmouth. See if that goes well. And then yeah, Bay of Biscay, maybe, probably, yeah,
We've
definitely.
got it, you know.
And then we'll be in sunny Spain.
That'll be
At
nice.
least that is the plan. And then spend a little bit of time in Spain, but unfortunately winter is right around the corner. So it's a little bit of a hurry. This would have been nicer a month ago to not have to feel so rushed, but alas, you can't plan for these things to happen.
It is what it is.
Just gotta roll with the punches. But while we're here, we got a new genoa, so that's very nice. We got a new storm jib. We had to cut one of our halyards in half because it chafed at the top. So spinnaker halyard we replaced completely, and now we have two lengths of sheets that we could potentially use for a spinnaker if we never decided to get one.
What else did we do? I feel like we did a lot.
We did a lot. We kitted out the boat some more. We bought a life ring that was sorely needed. I moved the engine, the outboard engine to the side. You can't actually see it.
You can't see it, but
On the pedestal. But yeah, it's moved to the side. That was very painful because I had to try and reshape the plastic. So it was not as fun as you would have thought it would have been. I snapped the file while doing it. What else did we do? We got some new winch handles because my parents still had some stuff that grandparents had, so that's very big, heavy-duty winch handles. We don't have enough winch handle holders, so we might need to buy a new one of those. I don't know if we mentioned the new life raft. We bought it in Kip, and then when we were installing it, it slipped and it fell and it knocked my finger on the way. It went straight into the water, and it took us about 15 minutes to get it out of the water.
thankfully it was not one of those ones that inflate when it hits the water, because it probably would have inflated it. Very much filled with
There was a
water.
couple walking past and they offered us some help, so we managed to get it out.
Eventually.
Note to Seago, the manufacturer of the life raft. I think handles are a good idea.
Very good idea.
This one doesn't have handles. The previous one did, so it's very awkward to try and get to position because it just sits off the back of the boat.
Oh, like what? 30 kilograms of it. Yeah.
It's
So
about
awkward.
30 kilograms of life raft. We got a stand-up paddleboard, so we'll be using that when we get to warmer countries. Managed to also get a electric pump for the dinghy and for the stand-up paddle. So hopefully it should just be like that. So inflated.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll keep updated while we're on the way. We'll get fuel. This will be the first time we've actually refueled.
Yep. We
And
got some
then
fuel sets as well to try and. Apparently someone said that it smells like we have a diesel bug. But the man who told us this, he kept on talking the entire time, so I don't know how much of what he was saying was actually, but I'm sure we do potentially have it because we have had the tank at half for a while, or at least we had it just under full, so there's a little bit of space for the bug to come in potentially. So we've got some stuff to treat that, so we'll treat it when we refuel.
very safe and sorry.
In a few moments when this boat leaves.
Hopefully they'll leave soon. Yeah, so we'll keep you updated. Just gonna be a wee day of sailing. It was pretty windy this morning, so it's about 10ish. We're just going to head out shortly and try and get as much done before the tide goes against us.
Well, we had a pretty decent day of sailing. With the swell coming from the south, the waves carried on building throughout the day, and the anchorage we had decided to use had no protection from the south. We tried to anchor there overnight. At about midnight, we decided it wasn't worth it, and we carried on. This was the first time that Abigail and I had done a proper night sail. After a very tough sail with lots of slamming, we were very glad to see a beautiful sunrise.
We made it to Dublin.
Finally.
Pink and tired.
Red. And also tired. We then spent a day in Dublin to wait for some bad weather to pass. Our next leg was to go from Dublin to Pwllheli in Wales. While sailing across the Irish Channel, we encountered a seabird who used our sail as a bit of a shelter. We then arrived in Wales. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you join us for the next episode in this adventure. Cheers.